Hello, everybody. Hello. Yes, we're here. We are here for another, the regular scheduled the interviews. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hey, wait. What? I'm
Yes,
getting double. There we go. Get rid of the double echo there. That kind of ruins the mood. Plus, I'll turn the music down just a little bit.
As you know, we had a special interviews during the week with Gula, who was ex-Maxis artist, working on SimCity, who is now off on his own doing his stuff for City Skylines. But our normal routine is every Sunday at around this time, give or take half an hour depending on time zones. We get together with streamers that I want to talk to and you know, game devs that I want to talk to. And this week, I'm lucky enough, I've got ItsGime sitting here having a little bit of a chat. Now, I gotta ask, I've from the very first time I've met you, where the fuck did ItsGime come from?
How old am I? I'm 31 now. So let's go all the way back to where I was 13. I don't know. I was 13. It was IRC, and I had a typo. There's supposed to be two M's. There's not. And that honestly, it stuck with me from age 13 to high school to I just kept it going.
So that's become your de facto nom de plume, and that's how you're known. Well,
yeah,
I'm sorry, but for the purpose of this, this little get together, you're Gimme, okay? I'm not. It's like Mr. It's Gimme. You know, it's like it's Gimme is like it just doesn't work. Look, okay, you went back the road to 13. Let's talk about who It's Gimme is. Give us some history of the man.
Oh gosh, history of me. Yeah, just not your typical nerd. Let's say that, because that's an acceptable word to me. I tried to blend both lives. Got my first computer when I was 12 or 13. It was like a Commodore 64. Fell in love. Christmas, age 13, I asked my mom to buy me Visual Basics 3.0 for Dummies, the book.
Wow.
That was because we had switched over to AOL. AOL had the fantastic chat rooms. I saw people with the color changing applications for their text and all that, and I wanted to make it. And that's where it all started. So games had always been big, just my whole life. And then I went into coding, and I've been coding ever since. I'm a software developer now. Today.
Awesome. I'm an ex-developer.
Okay.
My last foray was using .NET, VB.NET. That's where I wanted to get into C++. No, not C++, but C#. But I was just so like I had worked for so many. Like I started off with Clarion for DOS.
Okay.
Do you remember that one?
I don't know. Okay. I was doing VB, and then it moved into a lot of Python. I've done C and C#. Right now, what I do is restricted only to the healthcare field. It's mumps and cache. Languages normal people don't know.
HIPAA. You got to deal with HIPAA.
Yes.
I've got a friend of mine who is he's a consultant, IT consultant, but he works with doctors. So he's having to deal with HIPAA all the time. It drives him crazy.
Yep.
What was it about programming that really got your juices going?
I don't know if I was just lazy or smarter than lazy people. I hated routine, and I hated things that, and I still today, something that we do every day that can be automated. I love the ability to be able to create something that automates it for us. And that's, for me, that's what it is. Something that can do something more efficient and quicker than what we do by hand.
Now, I know from experience that the life of a programmer is kind of a you almost find yourself in a locked box where once you get involved in a project, like nothing else exists.
Yes.
But you also you have this interesting learning curve where you learn, and you learn a lot, but then you hit a plateau and you go, I don't know if I can learn anymore. I'm fucked. I'm screwed. I'm toast. And then all of a sudden something will happen and you're back up on that upward climb. Do you find that at all?
It does, yeah. You find it a lot, but you have to find, you just have to make yourself want to learn more. I mean, and another segue too, with loving video games, I still to this day want to make my own game. And that's something that I want to learn how to do, but I can't even make a stick figure, so I need somebody for art. But I would love to switch into indie game development, but to take a jump into the deep end and leave the money is really tough. It's next to impossible, actually.
Well, how long have you been gaming? What was your very, very first video game?
Oh, I don't even remember. One of the Zeldas on the NES, but I mean, if we go back, there were things on the Commodore 64 that I don't even remember. The things on the little floppy disks that I honestly have no idea what they were. And I mean, I'm not go for modes. I'm not that old, but still, the game that stuck with me the most for whatever reason is Killer Instinct. I don't know why, and that was Super Nintendo. But I don't know why that one stuck with me as far as my favorite, most remembered game ever. So I don't know if you've ever played that one.
No. So time frame. When did you first start playing video games? Like
10, 11? 10 or 11 probably, yeah. That's 20 years ago.
Wow, I wish it was only that long for me. What is it about gaming? And and this is an interesting sort of sidestep, but like being a programmer, it kind of gives you a different, a different avenue of looking at games. But what is it about video games that attract you so much?
For me, again, just like the whole thing that attracted me to programming, it was about solving a problem. I felt like I was accomplishing something, whereas, again, with the whole learning curve issue, school didn't do it for me. I didn't enjoy school. I didn't feel like there was anything to gain from it. But as completing a game, there was an accomplishment there. So I had a goal, whatever that game may be, to beat the final boss or whatever, and then afterward there was a sense of accomplishment. Something that I did not actually get in school at all. So that's what gaming had been for me, and then over time it's developed to more where now I still have that same sense of accomplishment, but I'm also critiquing and I'm looking for new and inventive ways that they're actually using their code in games. If that makes sense.
No, it does. Like, when you look at a game, do you look at it from both the gamer and the programmer?
I do. So I still get when there's things that are introduced into a game for the actual gaming aspect, I get fascinated like a little kid, and I want to run around and play with it. But then at the same time, I'm trying to figure out technically how they accomplish that. So I get presence on both sides, which is really cool.
What is it about game development that is attracting you? Like that wants you to go down that road?
I think it's just kind of marrying the two loves that I've always had, the one for gaming and the one for just developing. The fact that the ideas that I think I have, and the skills that I think I have, I think my skills would be better used in game development with 20 years of experience playing games.
When it when it comes to, like, what was it? Okay, you're a gamer. You've been gaming, and what was it that led you into looking at streaming? Not as a career, not as anything, but just that initial. I'm going to put a camera in front of my face, and I'm going to stream this game. Like, what was it that led you to that point?
I think boredom. It was really boredom. It's never been about any making money possibility. One was boredom. As you kind of get older, you lose the ability to have the social aspect from couch gaming, from the whole couch co-op, which is finally making a comeback, which is awesome. But as you get older, you lose that. So Twitch brings in a social aspect that is kind of like couch co-op, even though you're playing a single-player game. And it was really just boredom. I sit and play games at night. Why play them alone if I can turn on a camera and play it with 5, 10, 50 people? I mean, that's really all it was for. That, and it had started when I was playing Smite, which all the people I played Smite against, apparently I'm good at the game, and I was told to stream it. So that's really where it was.
Well, how long have you been streaming? Like, when was your inaugural stream, and what was that first stream like?
First stream was 10 months ago, maybe 11. Echoes, what's going on? Sorry, I had a random show up.
Yeah.
First stream, it was weird. I was probably sweating like a pig, and I mean, I don't really remember it, but I think I had one viewer, and it might have been the kid on Smite that told me to play it, and that's it. And it was still, I mean, we got nobody for a good month, 2 months. Until Dizzy showed up.
Do you think, when it comes to stream, like, especially for new streamers coming in, okay, you know, I think a lot of streamers, like the new ones coming in, I've got, you know, they see all the big boys out there, you know, all the, you know, name them, you know, they got 2,000 viewers, they've got, you know, 1,000 subs, they've got all kinds of, you know, publicity. But the new guys coming in are looking at that going, I want to be them. But it's not that easy, is it?
It's not, but that's not what I've ever wanted. I've never had that goal. It's, for me, like I said, it's a social aspect. I can turn it on and I can talk to a room of however many people are there for the night. So for me, that's all it is. If I were to ever get partnered, oh hey, that's great. But it's still, that's kind of why my schedule has been up in the air. I'm not as dedicated because I don't have the end goal that a lot of streamers have, which is getting big, getting famous, and making a lot of money off of it. If that ever happened, that would be great, but that's not my goal. So I've never looked at those big guys and said, "Oh, I wish I could do that," or, you know, anything like that.
Well, with that in mind, what is your hopes and for your stream? Like, what is your end goal?
That's the thing. There isn't one. There doesn't have to be an end goal. If I do it for fun and I come here and it is a social gathering with friends and we end up doing it a couple times a week, there doesn't have to be an end game. There doesn't have to be a goal. I mean, who's to tell you to stop hanging out with your friends, you know, in your real life, Cranky? Like, what is your goal?
I don't have real friends.
Okay, well, let's pretend if you had a group of real friends and you guys went out every Tuesday night for drinks. I mean, what is your end game with that? I mean, you don't necessarily have an end game. You go every week to hang out with your friends.
Well, usually the end game is to get drunk.
Well, that would be for that night. That would just be for that night. So if that was the same thing, we've had those streams. We do those just to get drunk. But it's It's to have a good time with friends. That would be the end game for me.
Well, like I know, like, see, what I'm doing here is totally different when it comes to Twitch. Like between late night and the interviews and the 2 news shows I've got coming, this is not the typical Twitch that people come, expecting to see. But for me, it's about building this really cool community of people who like to talk about games. Not necessarily about the playing of the game, but about the industry, about the gamers, about the streamers. And this is one reason why I wanted to do the interviews, was because I think there's an opportunity here for streamers to get to know their audience a little bit better, and their audience to get to know the streamers a little bit. Because really, when you're in the confines, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're in the confines of playing a game, you can't really get involved with your community 100%, and they don't really get to see all of who ItsGime is.
Yes and no, and I get yelled at for that because I tend to, while playing, pay more attention to the stream than the game, and I end up killing myself and the entire team.
Yeah, that kind of got you into trouble with Smite, didn't it?
Yeah, that happens in Smite a lot, yeah. I'll stream, but I kind of die a lot when I do it. It's, yeah. But I don't care. I'm having fun, that's the thing. But there have been some people that will come around when I'm streaming, and they used to play with me all the time in the stream, play Smite. They don't want to play with me as much anymore if I'm streaming. I have some people that specifically say, if you're streaming, I don't want to play. Apparently, I'm a little bit better when I'm not streaming because I can focus on the game.
Do you find, like, when you're out cruising Twitch, like, do you take time to look at other streamers and what they're doing?
Oh, I do that nonstop, all the time. That's kind of mostly what I do on Twitch if I'm not streaming. I'm just cruising around looking for the lowest nobody streamers that I can find. And I mean, it's one thing that I've told people before: the best streamer is the one that we haven't seen yet. The one that nobody knows about is the next best streamer. And that's, I mean, it's true. That's what it is. So if I'm looking for, actually I have it loaded up here. If I'm looking at a list of Smite streamers, I start at the bottom of the list and I go up and I try to find people. And to me, that's more fun. Once you hit a certain point, it seems, as far as an audience, you kind of start ignoring your audience. And it kind of sucks when that happens.
Do you find that's kind of a common occurrence?
It is. There's very few streamers that, once they hit a certain limit, continue to interact with their chat. And I mean, I'm not talking like your big 2,000, 3,000, 12,000 people in chat, because you can't see a damn thing in chat. But I've seen people even in the hundreds that they just go mute. They kind of don't interact anymore at all, and that's their thing. I don't know why. But if you find somebody that's got 30 followers or 30 viewers, they'll still sit and have a conversation with you.
Like, I know I've seen, and actually I've got to do more and more of this, cruising around Twitch. I've also found that the opposite is true. I've seen a number of low, viewer count streamers who pay absolutely no attention.
Well, it depends on how low, and you have to understand that. So if you have streamed every night for 2 weeks, and in that whole period of 2 weeks, you may have gotten one viewer, and it could have been you. You could have been that one person that came in and typed. It's got to be difficult and kind of disheartening to look at your chat for 2 weeks straight of streaming and never see anything. So it's kind of... I don't expect somebody that has 0 viewers at all to be attentive to the chat as possible, just because they could have been looking at it for weeks, for months, and have never seen anything happen in that chat window. So they kind of just focus in and play the game.
Just out of curiosity, in your your touring around, and especially among the lower viewer count streamers, do you find yourself maybe taking more on a kind of a mentor role with some of them that you kind of identify with and think have possibilities?
I have tried to help several of them. If Echo's still here, he's still here. I've tried to help him out. I mean, with anything that I can do, but it's really not much. There was another. There's been a few that I try to help out that are just starting. I do have a lot of connections with game developers. I've offered free games to people, kind of to let them have new things to play. My Twitter, if you guys follow me on there, is just full of promoting different random streamers, trying to get them more viewers. And it's people, if they had a chance, they'd be a great streamer, but nobody knows about them.
Do you think that there is a type of streamer, or a personality type that makes a good streamer?
Absolutely not. Because people have very different personalities in real life versus online. So if you're saying walking outside, if I could find somebody and say you're going to be a great streamer, you could take the most popular person you know who is a social superstar, put them down at a computer in front of a camera, and they just go mute. Same way you can take somebody like you who admittedly said you've got no friends. Now I'm picking on you. But when you come here, you've got friends and you're a very social person. It's really difficult. You can't... On screen, it depends on who you are. If you are at least average at the game that you're playing and you are social, that's all that really matters. You don't have to have a certain personality.
This is going to be a kind of a twofold question. So it's going to be more of a general, and then it's going to be more directed to you. Do you think that for a streamer to be successful, they have to kind of identify a genre of games that suits their personality? Or can they branch out from that? Or at what point can they branch out from that?
I mean, again, the viewers can tell if you're not enjoying playing a game. I mean, it's obvious in the way, even if you don't have a camera, the way if you're talking, if you have a microphone. If you don't, I don't know why you're streaming. But the way you're talking to people on camera, they can tell if you don't like a game. So it more so it has to be a game that you enjoy playing. It doesn't have to fit with your personality, but if you enjoy it, that's more so all it really matters. You just have to enjoy playing the game. It doesn't have to fit your personality. I wouldn't say Smite fits really anybody's personality, really. I don't...
Okay, when it comes to yourself, what genres do you find really get you going and really perk up your chat, perk up your stream, and that you enjoy the most?
It really comes down to just Smite, which I've kind of pigeonholed myself into that because I streamed 95% mostly Smite. Chat perks up and has fun more towards any... Do you only stream Smite? No, I don't. But again, like I'm saying, I've pigeonholed myself into that where the majority of my followers and viewers are from Smite, so they want to see that. But when I play games, not too long ago, we did Life is Strange. So if it's...
I got to ask you about that in a minute, but go ahead.
Okay, so if it's a game where it's interactive, we played that game, but I didn't make a single choice in the game. So the chat did, and DeepBot has a nice little poll feature where you can pick A or B. Yeah. So when it came to choices, we let chat do it. So I would say my chat perks up when there's something that they can be involved with, whether it be a game like that where they're making direct decisions, or where Gauntlet, when that came out, and we can play with 3 other people. So if they can get a chance to play the game or interact, they tend to have the most fun.
How important is it to involve your regulars or your subs in your game choices?
For me, it's very important. Because again, for me, it's all about the social aspect. So I want them to be involved in playing the game with me. Just if there is a way, I mean, there's some games, like I said, that are starting to do it, but bring an old school couch co-op game and allow multiplayer. So find a way to recreate couch co-op via Twitch, via Skype. I mean, whatever it is. If you can do that, you've solved what I've been looking for.
Now, Life is Strange. I've got the game, and I'm actually, this is going to be kind of an interesting little conversation. What did you think of Life is Strange?
I loved it.
What was it about that game that you liked so much?
The immersion, I believe it was. So I don't know why, and I can't remember the names because I'm not good at that. But in the game, there's the one character that was just mean as hell to you. I don't remember her name. She was an evil bitch.
Oh yeah. I know the one you mean. Yes.
I wanted to punch her in the taint. I mean, I wanted to kill her, and the fact that the game made me have that strong of a feeling to want to actually hurt somebody. That got me. It sold me right there. So I was completely wrapped into the story, and it right there was game over for me. I couldn't stop playing it.
What about the mechanic of being able to turn back time?
That was weird. It took a little to get used to that, but I don't understand why it was there. I know it was to make it a different game from the Telltale series. It was weird, but it worked within the story, I guess. But it was really weird, and I felt like if you had infinite rewinds, I kind of took away from the game. Like, whereas a normal game, you would have this outcome, and this is what happened because you made this choice. You deal with it. Now this one you can go back and change your choice and get a different outcome. So you can kind of, instead of a game having multiple endings and multiple paths, you kind of just get to pick what you think is the right one from rewinding. It was weird, but it worked.
Okay. Now, have you played any of the Telltale games?
We did Walking Dead. And we did the Borderlands one.
Okay, Tales from the Borderlands. I just finished episode 1, and here's the thing. I'm not sure I like this episodic way of doing things, because I got to the end of episode 1, it was like, bang, you're done. Now move on to and I was like, wait a minute. Like, you're giving me this whole bunch of faux pas, stats that don't really mean dick, right? And I'm not sure if that episodic idea works. It seems to take away from the game. Like, what's your, like, how far have you got in? Oh, you agree?
No, I totally agree with you. It takes away from it. So let's do Tales of the Borderlands. Let's do Life is Strange. Either one. I don't fully remember episode 1, Life is Strange. And, I mean, Rars in chat, he said he had a fantastic time watching that. I don't remember a whole lot about the game other than I hated that girl and I really enjoyed it. And we dumped paint on some people. I mean, that's all I remember. And I feel it's because it's episodic like that. If all were out, we would probably sit and play it in a whole weekend and knock all of them out, all episodes. So now, episode 2 comes out. I was just drunk. No. Episode 2 comes out, I think, in a couple days on Tuesday. I have to replay episode 1 because I don't want to start episode 2 because I don't remember episode 1 fully. So it really takes away from it. It leaves you sitting there for an entire season. This isn't TV. I hate it.
Yeah, like,
I have a hard time with episodic content from a number of different points of view, but when it comes to picking a genre, like, okay, you're a Smite player. You've been sort of like you admittedly been pigeonholed into Smite. Does that stop you from, like, okay, Smite's a MOBA, correct?
Yep.
What about branching out into the other MOBAs? Like, we've got the new one coming from Blizzard. Is that one that you might branch into? Because again, it's a MOBA. It's still, you know, or are you so locked into that Smite culture that you don't think your audience would enjoy it?
I don't think the audience would necessarily care. Like I said, I've got people that show up every night regardless of what we're playing. I've got some that only show up for Smite. While the majority only show up for Smite, again, that's not something I really care about. It sucks at times. The bigger problem with other MOBAs, and I will try them, but I can't get into the ones where you have to click. The little clicky MOBAs like League of Legends and Dota 2 and all of that stuff, I can't. I've tried to play it. It just, that play style, the mechanics don't work. They don't work for me at all.
Do you think there is a danger for streamers, especially new ones, that they figure they've got their favorite game and that's what they're going to stream and that's all they're going to stream, and that is in itself a danger to their growth as a streamer?
Yes. I mean, I'm proof of that. I've got, I don't know, let's say 6,000 followers. I would say 4,500 out of 6,000 are Smite only. So yes, and the Smite audience is only so large. So at some point that number is going to tap out. And there's already been a decline in growth because of that, even when I do play Smite. So yes, only playing one game, there's only so much of an audience to gather. So yeah, you're stuck if you don't branch out.
How are you going to combat that? I'm curious. Do you have a roadmap of what you're gonna, how you're gonna deal with this?
Not entirely, but eventually they will get used to it. So I don't know, treat it like an addiction. Wean them off of Smite. You guys only get 3 doses this week.
Yeah.
And the ones that can't recover from that, I will eventually lose them and have to go somewhere else. But that's the thing. If I lose a percentage because I'm not playing Smite as much, you gain a percentage from the next new game. So eventually it'll cycle through and wash out, and eventually it will become more of the people are here for a variety stream only.
Here's when we reach into the upper echelon of Twitch streamers and their habit of hopping on the newest game, they play it for a couple days and then they're gone. Do you think that is detrimental to A, streaming, or B, the game that they are streaming? Because in my impression, when you, like, for example, City of Skylines, you had a couple of the big boys that jumped on for a couple days, just totally kind of ruined the gameplay because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and then they're gone, and people are kind of left going, well, that game doesn't look so good. Do you think that is a danger of this, basically what I would refer to as flash play a game?
Do you think it's a danger for the game or for the streamer? What's your or both?
Both.
For the game, absolutely not. Absolutely not for the game. The game, if somebody's interested in the game, they would be an idiot to only watch one streamer play it and make their decision based off of that. That would be stupid. So I don't think the game will ever suffer enough to where the game will or won't be successful. For a streamer, it depends. If it's your big streamers, they've got nothing to lose, really. They'll come in, they will steal some of the followers for that game only. Those people will either enjoy their stream and stick around, knowing that they just hop around in games, or they will unfollow, and that's it. I mean, that's the end of it. So I don't think it really hurts anybody. But if it hurts a small streamer, sure. If I just jumped around to a game one day and I got, let's say, 50 new followers from cities, and I'm not playing it the next day, those people are going to come in, oh, you're not playing cities, and they'll unfollow. Yeah. So that it'll hurt a small streamer, but when you're talking big streamers with huge numbers, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, even 100 people, you know, following or unfollowing does not really hurt them.
Yeah. What do you like? We've seen the growth of Twitch just blowing up all over the place. What do you think is like? What's the future of streaming? and will Twitch ever actually have a competitor, a solid competitor?
I don't even think Twitch knows the future of streaming yet. I don't think anybody can answer that. It's only going to continue to get bigger. If you've ever looked into the stats, and maybe we can talk about this on another show, of how Twitch at peak times is competing and actually bettering some actual cable television channels at their peak times. So it's only going to get bigger. Twitch is a young company that has honestly no clue what they're doing. For example, the whole little the mansion thing with all the girls in swimsuits and body shots. they banned it. Then they unbanned it and they made it front page, and then they banned it again. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what's right and what's wrong yet. They don't know whether to push a stream like that and make it huge because of what it was showing, or if that's bad and they're going to lose people. So all I can say is the future of Twitch is going to just keep increasing. Whether they get some solid direction, that's yet to be seen. Will they ever get a competitor? I don't think so. I think it's way too late in the game to get a competitor. And I mean, they have, what, 3 of them right now? There's Gaming Live, there's Hitbox, MLG, and I think there's one other.
MLG.
There's no. Why would somebody leave? So for a competitor to be successful, you would need one of your top 10 or 2 or 3 of your top 10 to all leave Twitch and go to the competitor. But even then, I think they would stay there for a few weeks and realize how bad the numbers are and how much they're losing on ad revenue, and come right back to Twitch. So
yeah, but the problem is Twitch may not let them back in.
Well, and then they're screwed.
Yeah.
So there's really, I don't think this late in the game there's no way, unless one of your big companies, your Yahoos or your Google, you know, decided to directly compete with them, and Google might be the only company that could do it.
Yeah, well, their YouTube live stream hasn't really panned out all that well, so I'm not really too concerned about that. When it comes to streaming, and I know you're a slightly different case because you do not have a steady schedule.
Starts back up on Monday.
Starts back up on Monday. Okay.
With the new job, everything starts back on Monday.
Yeah. What kind of let's break this down. For a new streamer, for a mid-level streamer, and for one of the top boys, what kind of dedication in each of those areas does it take to do this job? Because this is a job.
It takes the same all around, though. I mean, so this is talking with directors at Twitch over dinner. The biggest thing, they don't care. Once you have 1,000 followers, he said to me, that's the number they look for. Once you have 1,000, you are somebody in Twitch's eyes. But the main thing that they look for and deny people for on partnership is consistency. Even if you only stream 2 or 3 nights a week, as long as every single night at that time, within, you know, a good 5, 10, 15 minutes, you are streaming for your scheduled period, that's all you need to do. And that's the level of dedication that you should have from the start, the middle, and your end game. I mean, you should be true to that. If you expand it, great, but your starting schedule you should never reduce.
See, this is where I find myself, because like we all say, you know, that we don't look at the numbers. We shouldn't look at the numbers, but in reality, we look at the numbers. I don't give a fuck.
I look at them multiple times a day.
But unlike a lot of streamers who, you know, are going for 4 or 6 or 8 hours, they get a long stretch of time to build up those viewer numbers. Whereas with something like what I'm doing, I've got, like, for today, like right now, an hour and a half. Then late show is 90 minutes. And I don't have that same breadth. So I kind of wonder how they're gonna, like, it's one thing to deal with gaming streamers because they've got a solid reference point for time. But when you start getting into things like music, or you start getting into things like talk shows, is that not going to kind of skew their evaluation of view counts or followers?
I think they're going to have to make different considerations. But talking with this same person over dinner, and actually bringing you up in your late night show, they already think that gaming talk shows are probably going to be the next big thing. So they're already saying music was a success. So gaming, success. Music, they're saying that's a success. And they believe gaming talk shows are probably going to be the next big thing on Twitch. So if they're already in that mindset, then definitely they have to have a specific way to evaluate those, because you're right, they're not the same as an actual person playing a game for 4 hours. The fact that you can actually get and hold 20-30 viewers for 90 minutes is more than 70% of the streamers out there, 75, even maybe 80% of them.
Well, to be honest, I've looked at the numbers the other night, and I'm averaging anywhere from 75 to 100 viewers per late night, which is not bad.
Yep.
But is a dedication? I know a lot of guys, you know, they come on to Twitch and they go, I'm just going to stream and have fun and do this and do that. At what point do you have to make that decision that this is just going to be a fun little thing you do every once in a while, or this is something that I want to do? Is there a break point there somewhere along the way?
I feel that you should make that decision from the start. So I would probably feel a lot worse about my streaming schedule and the stuff that I've been dealing with in my personal life. I would probably care more about the stream if from day one I've decided I'm going to stream every day, I'm going to become partnered, I'm going to try to make some form of income off of this. But whereas for me, day one, it's always been, this is for fun, this is what I do. I don't feel that bad if I say, hey, I'm going to stream Monday, but then something comes up. Whereas if I was dedicated and I was trying to make money off of it, I'd probably feel like shit. So I think it's something that you should decide from the beginning. But yeah, if you've been grinding for a year and you're not getting anywhere, I mean, there's got to be a break point.
Maybe reevaluate what you're doing and how
Exactly.
you're doing it.
If you're not there in a year, you're doing something wrong. There is a question in chat though.
What's that?
If you want to tackle that.
Which is, how do you feel about streams that get partnership by doing giveaways? Once they have that button, they stop doing what they got them there and can't hold a viewer base more than 15 people, but continue to be a partner.
I can definitely answer that because I do probably more giveaways than anybody. I'm fortunate in my job. I don't mind giving things away, especially if it's a game that I believe in. I will buy extra copies and I will give them to people. A lot of people can't afford new games every single week. To that question, though, if you get partnered via giveaways, Twitch has different feels about this. So I had applied for partnership once, and during some of my peak giveaways when I was doing them the most, I had been botted a couple times. Because Twitch does not know who botted, either I did it myself or somebody did it to get more entries in a giveaway, immediately denied for partnership. So all of my giveaways have been more focused on Twitter now. But how do I feel that if they do that, they got partnered, and they stopped doing the giveaways now? I mean, the guy's a dick or girl, but they got what they wanted. They got their partnership, but it does them no good. So if you only get there and you don't keep going, what good is it? You're not getting any subs now. So you got the sub button, but you can't maintain anybody, so you lost. So really that streamer's kind of an idiot. Yeah. I don't know.
This is one question I like to ask everybody. What was your lowest point so far in your streaming career? The lowest point.
The lowest point? The first few weeks not having anybody there. I mean, that's probably the lowest point for almost any streamer. I mean, unless you were successful and then you hit a dip and you're not anymore. But the lowest point is usually the first few weeks sitting there by yourself, not having anybody in stream. I would say that's the absolute... Wow. Yes, that is the absolute lowest point. And yes, I cried a little bit when Sky's thing turned me down for dinner. Just a little bit. Something about no skydiving, I don't remember. We were going to jump out of an airplane, I don't know.
What about your highest point? The highest point so far in your streaming career?
I don't want to sound like a little fanboy. Highest point, honestly, so what are we looking at? I was a month in streaming, 6 viewers. I got rated by Dizzy. And because I didn't want to pay for a bot yet, I had coded my own IRC bot to do all the chat stuff. Didn't know who Dizzy was. Got rated for over 100 people. He broke my bot. He killed me in the game. That was probably the highest point that I had. That was a fantastic night. That really was. That was crazy.
I know he has a bad habit of killing a lot of people in raids.
I think he does it on purpose. I mean, I know he wants it. He's got 3 things: break something, kill somebody, or make somebody cry. I mean, they are
yes,
things he looks for.
Yeah. What do you do raids?
I used to when the stream was steady and we had a bunch of our followers, and I mean we were pulling anywhere from 20 to even in your hundreds, you know, for a stream. I've seen a lot of people that do it with under 20 and some even under 10. They'll pull a raid. To me, at that point, it kind of seems more advertisement if you have that few viewers. So I won't do a raid, but I will host the people after the stream.
What do you think of this new feature of hosting?
I think it's fantastic. It really is. I don't like the separation of chats. I understand why it's there, but I don't like it. I've had many people typing in my chat trying to communicate with the streamer, and they don't see it because of that. So if they make it more obvious or a way to easily switch the chat, I think that would be cool. But yeah, right now, I mean, it's a great feature, but the chat thing is a little broken.
Well, chat's generally broken anyway.
Well, that's true. Definitely true.
Now, I'm going to get a little on the personal side here.
Oh shit.
As a streamer and a married man,
See, you just fucked it up now. They didn't all know.
What is it?
Sorry, Sky.
What is it like in doing what you do within a relationship?
For me, with a non-gamer spouse, it's rather difficult. No matter what I do on here, so even when it comes down to PAX and some of these meetings and things that I've had with executives at development studios, to her, it's still just playing video games. So, yeah, that's a barrier that I'm still trying to overcome with her, because that's all she sees it as, is you're just playing video games. I don't care that you've told 100, 1,000 people that you're going to stream on this night. We need to do this, and yeah, so it's a struggle. It's a constant struggle. I think I'm starting to win. I think so. I don't know yet, but yeah, it's a definite struggle to find a balance in between.
Now, you've had some extra goodies thrown in on this mix. You are going to be a father.
I am. I am going to be a father in 90 days.
How is that affecting your A, your life, and B, your stream?
I got thrown everything at once. So the people from my stream know that, let's see, December 20th or so, give or take, right around in there, we closed on our house, our first house. We moved in 3 days after Christmas. The wife is pregnant. I quit my job last week. I gave them 3 weeks notice. I got picked up by a new hospital. So once I bought the house, I was dealing with a 90-minute commute. And that's each way. So 90 minutes to work, 90 minutes to get home. So my streaming time, when I got home, I hated everything. So I couldn't stream. It was difficult. So yeah, it has been a roller coaster trying to deal with everything. But the new hospital, 10 minutes away. I think the kid is going to work to my benefit, because I'm going to have like a little backpack thing right here, and the baby's going to be here.
You aren't.
I am that guy. I am that guy. I will get
You are going to pimp your kid for the stream.
I definitely will. And then I will take him down to the park, and I will pimp him out there, and it's...
Awesome. Now, the other little project you've got going on, which we've talked about, and I'm still expecting video and images, is, and this is what kind of gets me. You're not a full-time, well, you are a full-time streamer. You're not a full-time streamer.
No.
But you're building a stream room.
I am. I definitely am. The stream room, and it's mainly, like I said, I do this for fun. So a lot of your guys, they get a house, they have a man cave, they have whatever they want down there. We've got a second living room in the basement that satisfies all my man cave needs. I've got a 70-inch TV, blah, blah, blah. But I've got this... hey, it's got a wet bar, we've got a fridge, it's got all that down in the basement. Hey, the pool table's coming, and she approves of that one, Cranky. So, I've got this little room off the back of the basement. It's like 13 feet by 13 feet, and that is my room. I bought the house, and she said, you get this one room.
Oh, wait. She gets the bathroom, the kitchen, the bedroom, the living room.
Yes.
You get a 13 by 13 room.
Yes, that's marriage.
That sounds like marriage. A fair deal to me.
You buy the house, make the payments. You get a room in the basement. You get a little dungeon. So it's an unfinished room. I spend most of my time, even if it's not just streaming, it's playing video games. And like I said, couch co-op is huge to me. So the plans for this whole room is kind of going to be centered around that. We've already drawn up the plans for it. I've got a contractor that's supposed to start working on it in a couple weeks. The entire thing is going to have professional green screen paint. So every surface of that room is going to be green screen other than the desk and computer stuff. Multiple cameras wired up everywhere. and then multiple stations, and even another big screen station to where we could all sit and play together. So it's really just centered around the whole gaming. Whether you want to call it a streaming room or not, it's just really centered around gaming. And I've got 3 video poker machines outside the room.
You're a dick.
You're welcome to come visit anytime you want to see Chicago.
No. Why build? Like,
what do you mean, why build? It's an unfinished room. It's a cement room. So, I mean, regardless, I have to do something in there, right? If I want it to be usable space, it is a concrete room. So I would have to put floor, wall, electrical, ceiling and lighting. Why not go the extra step and make it all centered around, somewhere I spend a majority of my time?
How's your wife feel about it?
Again, she said it's my room. So she at one point she's like, well, what about after my back surgery they made me buy what do they call those, a recumbent bike. And she's like, well, can't we put that in there? Absolutely not. It's like, you said this is my gaming room. She's like, yeah, but you have extra space in there. Not gonna happen. Nope. So far, since we've lived here, she's staying true to it. It is my room. I can have whatever I want in it. I was given a budget. I just have to stay within that.
Lucky dude. One other thing, like, I know you are, you're really big when it comes to the marketing aspect of streaming. Like, you're in contact with, the different PR companies, and the different developers. How important is that for streamers who actually want to make something of it? Is like, because you see a lot of streamers, they'll go out and they'll do the Steam sales, they'll beg and borrow and steal, like, get the donations to be able to buy the games. But there are companies out there that want to deal with streamers.
There are, and there's more than people think. It takes a lot of work. I don't know why. I think my email is like a winning formula. It just seems to work. But it does. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of emails, a lot of rejection from companies. But I think it is very beneficial. If you don't have to spend donation money, if you don't have to spend your own money, if you don't have to beg your viewers, for a gift, I think that goes quite a ways. I mean, and these companies, talking with lots of them, they don't care about giving away a Steam key. If, I think, who said it best? I think Danny said it from Puba. He's not in it to worry about, copies in the tens. He's like, I'll give you 30 copies if you want to give it to your whole group of streamers. He's like, I'm in it to sell thousands of copies. If I have to give away 30 to sell 30, he's like, but 500 people know about the game now. So that is the mindset of most developers and most publishing companies.
Yeah, like, I given my situation, because I don't stream games. I talk about games. I talk about gamers. But I recently got involved with Evolve PR, and they've been pretty good.
Yes.
And I've managed to, and basically what I do is, if I don't have the game or it's not one that interests me, my co-hosts get it. Because it's my way of saying thank you, because I can't afford to fucking pay these people. I just don't have that kind of money. But it's it's one way of saying thank you if it's along their lines, the games they like to play. Actually, I was going to joke with Giito. I was going to send him a key for Grass Simulator. Have you seen that on Steam?
Yes, there's a grass simulator.
Yes, I was gonna joke with and send him the key and get him to do a review of it. But it's a little harder for someone in my, like, what, and I'm looking to you for like advice in this aspect, because hey, this is part of my learning process too. As a talk show host with multiple shows coming online, what benefit am I to these PR companies or to these developers? I'm not a game streamer.
But you're talking. You're press for them. I mean, regardless, it doesn't. So I would say for you, you're not really. If I was a developer or a publisher, if you're telling me you're not going to play the game, I really don't want to waste a key on you. But then at the same time, they generate their keys from Steam and it costs them nothing. So if I give you a copy of the game, it doesn't cost me anything. So I have to make that decision first. Do I give you a copy or not? More so, I would just put you on a press mailer and get you a press kit. I would get you all the information you need about the game to actually have a talk about it. Like, if you're not going to play it anyways, why do you need a copy of the game?
See, the thing is, for example, I got the new Wolf game for Fioli. She's played it. She's going to talk about it. I got Homeworld for Haas. Once she gets her head wrapped around it, she's going to talk about it. So, in effect, we still will be talking about the game.
Well, see, then you need to actually include that in your emails if you're going to approach developers and whatnot, that you might not play it on stream, but your co-hosts actually play it, and then you have a discussion about it. So then you have leverage right there. For them, it's all about exposure. If this goes on YouTube, and right now there's, a nonstop 20-some people watching it, they gave away one copy that cost them nothing, and now 20 people could potentially go buy their game. That's what matters to them.
Like, I know there was one game we talked about one night, it was for the PlayStation 4, Helldivers, and I know at least 3 people that went out and bought that game immediately.
Yep. And they can indirectly see that. I mean, they'll see a spike in numbers, but again, people that you might show it now, they might not get a paycheck for a week. They might not buy it for a week, but they still see it from that. So I mean, that's if you're gonna push it that way, that's even if they're giving you copies, it's not necessarily for you. It's for the benefit of people that are co-hosts, people that will be on to actually play it and then talk about it. But again, talking about is exposure.
Now, when it comes to up and coming streamers, new streamers, is marketing a viable way? Like, because okay, you've got 20 viewers on an average. You've got a 4-night-a-week stream. Blah 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 blah. Is this kind of marketing push good for them, or will basically the PR companies say, "Come back and see us in a little while"?
I've seen both. Starting from when I was even sub 1,000 followers. Again, it costs the developers nothing to give you a key. So if you have everything aligned to where you seem like who you really are, they have a lot of scam attempts, a lot of people that try to get it and then sell it to that evil company that I don't want to talk about.
Nope.
But if you seem legit and you seem to be who you really are, and you follow through on your email, you reply back to them after you do a stream and you link it to them, or if you write a review on Steam, especially in the indie community, it's going to be hard to break into your AAA titles. A lot of these developers are all talking to each other. If you do them a favor and you do something for them, it's just word of mouth. It really is. If you do something good within that community, it spreads really fast. And Twitter is huge. You have to be on Twitter. Use it.
That was the next thing I was going to get to as we head out for the afternoon. How important is social media to every level of streamer? New, middle range, top of the line.
I'm trying to look at it now. So I tweeted out an hour ago that I was on this show with you, and it's had 493 impressions. meaning that 493 people actually, number of times users saw the tweet on Twitter is now 499. I mean, that's huge. Some of my other ones, I mean, I'm on Twitter, 473,000 impressions over the last 28 days. I mean, that's huge. Twitter is the way everybody is interconnected, you will never get any kind of marketing outside doing anything on your own without Twitter.
Now, when it comes to things like Twitter and Facebook, there's a lot of metrics companies out there. Like I normally use TweetDeck. It's a good basic unit. But when you start getting more involved in the numbers and wanting to be able to keep track of your numbers, what are some of the other services that streamers can look at using?
I just threw a link here in chat, and to you on Skype. That is Twitter's own analytics.
Okay, I just got there we go. Okay. Just go away. I hate it when Skype does that. It'll go away in a minute. I'll get that afterwards. There we go. Yeah, the Twitter analytics. What is this? Like, I know there's the ones that what really gets me, really irritates my ass, is the automatic message on refollows. The DMs, the people it's a canned response when you follow somebody and they follow you, they follow you, you follow them, and you get this canned DM saying, "Thank you for following me. Check out my YouTube."
Some people hate it. I use it, and it works actually really well. I mean, I've got my Twitch link on there. Developers will find me and follow me on Twitter. As soon as they do that, the message goes out, and I get multiple responses throughout the day that, yes, we're going to go to your Twitch page and follow you.
Okay.
It's another route. It helps you. There's going to be some people that find you through Twitter only, and they might not know that you stream. They might not know anything else about you. It's another plug to kind of point them to the main place that you want them to see. If your main thing is Twitch and you don't use Twitter that much, it's definitely a way to push them and funnel them right to your Twitch account. So it's annoying. Yes, I know it's annoying. I get them too. Everybody, it seems like a lot of people are doing it, but yeah.
Okay. We're getting a little long here. Yeah. Okay. Any last words that you might have for folks out there that want to be a streamer, that are streamers, want to go maybe up the next level, like words of wisdom from ItsGime?
The only thing that I've told people is interact with your viewers. That's the number one thing that will get you viewers and keep them there. Interact with them, and it doesn't, like I said, I choose to play with them on games. You can just talk to them, and it works just the same. There was a couple people in chat saying that they were new streamers starting, but the biggest thing is talk to the people. Enjoy them as much as you're trying to hope that they enjoy your stream.
And use Twitter.
Yes.
Twitter.
You have to.
You have to. Like it's amazing the amount of people on Twitch who say, "I don't have a Twitter. Don't want a Twitter." Well, then you're an idiot.
Yep. You have to use it.
It's your broadcast medium, folks, to the general public. Alrighty. Thank you very much, ItsGime.
Oh, thank you for having me. Even though I was a half hour late.
That's okay. That's okay. Hey, we went a little long. That's cool. I will let you know when, like, I put the show up on YouTube in a couple hours. I will shoot you the link for it. You can share it around all you want. But in the meantime, throw your Twitch link, throw your Twitter link in chat so people can reach out to you. But in the meantime, thank you everybody for joining us. This has been another The Interviews, this week with ItsGime. Next week, next Sunday, we're working on getting K-Dog in here for some fun. And yeah, it should be interesting. And we're working on building out the list of guests we're going to be sitting down talking to. Don't forget, tonight, folks, it is the What the Fuck edition of Late Night with Cranky and Friends.
Got more pranks coming.
Oh, it's gonna be good. Also, we are starting 2 new shows in April. First Monday of April, and for 5 days a week, 10 a.m. Come and join me for coffee as we sit down and go through the morning gaming news and other good stuff, and just have a general chat for about an hour. Starting Tuesdays in April, and I'm not going to give you all the goodies on this one. It's called The Rec Room, and it will be 4 co-hosts sitting around a table for a couple hours having some fun. But that's all you get. That's all you get. So, thank you, Gitskimmy, very, very much. And we will see you guys later. But remember, folks, the 2 most important words of all: game on.
Bye, guys.